She left a cup of coffee still warm on the kitchen table. Her keys were on the hook. Her car was in the driveway. Everything she owned was exactly where it should be. The only thing missing from that little blue house on Maple Street was her. Her name was Clara Bennett. She was 71 years old, and she had lived in the same house for 38 years. If you grew up on our street, you knew her. She was the woman who waved from the porch, the one who left zucchini bread on doorsteps in August, the one who remembered every kid's birthday, even after they grew up and moved away. She wasn't rich, she wasn't famous, she was just Clara, and one ordinary Tuesday in October, she disappeared. It started small. A neighbor noticed her newspapers stacking up on the front step. One day, then two, then three. That wasn't like Clara. She read the paper every morning with her coffee, rain or shine. By the fourth day, people started to worry. Someone knocked, no answer. Someone called, straight to voicemail. So they called the police. When the officers stepped inside, they expected the worst. An elderly woman living alone. But what they found wasn't tragic. It was strange. The house was perfectly clean. The bed was made. There was no sign of a struggle. No broken window. No forced door. The back door was locked from the inside. And there on the kitchen table sat that cup of coffee. Cold now, but full. Beside it, a slice of toast with one bite taken out of it. It was like she'd stood up in the middle of breakfast and simply stopped existing. Her purse was hanging on the chair. Inside it, her wallet. Inside the wallet, her cash, her cards, her driver's license. Untouched. Her phone was charging on the counter. Her glasses, the ones she needed to see across the room, were folded neatly beside it. Clara couldn't read a street sign without those glasses. Her medication was in the cabinet, a full week's worth, still in the little plastic organizer, the pills she took every single morning to keep her heart steady. And her car, her old green sedan, was still in the driveway, cold, locked, the keys hanging by the door where she always left them. Wherever Clara went, she went with nothing. No money, no phone, no glasses, no coat. On a 40-degree morning, the police searched the neighborhood. Volunteers walked the woods behind the houses. They dragged the small pond at the edge of town. They brought in dogs. The dogs followed her scent from the back porch, across the yard, to the edge of the street. And then it just stopped, as if she'd climbed into a car, or vanished into the air. There were no security cameras back then, not on our quiet street. No one saw a strange vehicle. No one heard a scream. Her closest neighbor was home that morning and swears she heard nothing at all. The detectives looked into everything. Did she have enemies? No. Did she owe anyone money? No. Was there a man in her life, a secret, a debt, a reason to run? Nothing. Not one thread to pull. Her two children flew in from out of state. They sat in their mother's kitchen and stared at that cup of coffee, and they couldn't make sense of any of it. Their mother would never just leave. She didn't have it in her to make anyone worry. That was the whole problem. She was too kind, too ordinary, too gentle to vanish. The theories came fast, the way they always do. Some said she wandered off, confused, maybe early dementia, but her doctor said her mind was sharp. Her children said she was sharper than them. Some said she ran away, started a new life somewhere warm, but she left her money, her family, her photographs, every memory she had. People who run away take something. Clara took nothing. Some whispered darker things. That someone knew her routine. That someone she trusted knocked on the door that morning. That she opened it because she always opened it, because she always trusted people, and that she walked out into the cold with a person she believed was safe. But there was no evidence, no suspect, no body, just an empty house with the heat still running and a slice of toast going stale on the table. Weeks passed, then months. The newspapers stopped piling up because someone finally canceled the subscription. The grass grew long. The porch where she used to wave sat empty. Her children kept the house for a while. They couldn't bring themselves to sell it. They said it felt like locking the door on her, like giving up. So they paid the bills and they left her things exactly where they were, in case she ever came home and needed to find her glasses, her coffee cup, her quiet little life. She never did. Years went by. The case went cold. Detectives retired. New families moved onto the street. And the story of Clara Bennett became the kind of thing people told in low voices on summer evenings. The neighbor who vanished without taking anything. But here is the part that stays with me. The part I can't shake. A few years after she disappeared, a letter arrived at her old address. No return name. No return address. Postmarked from a town nobody in the family recognized, hundreds of miles away. Inside was a single sheet of paper, and on it, in handwriting her daughter swore looked just like her mother's, were 4 words. I am okay now. That was all. No explanation, no promise to come home, no answer to a single one of the questions that had haunted them for years. The police looked into it, of course. But you can't trace 4 words. You can't arrest a postmark. Handwriting can be faked, and grief can make us see what we long to see. They could never prove it was her, and they could never prove it wasn't. So her family was left with the cruelest gift of all. A door cracked open just wide enough to keep hoping, just narrow enough to never know. To this day, no one knows what happened to Clara Bennett, whether she chose to disappear or whether the choice was made for her, whether those 4 words were a kindness or a goodbye or something else entirely. The little blue house on Maple Street finally sold. The new owners painted it gray. They have no idea that somewhere in that kitchen, on one ordinary Tuesday morning, a gentlewoman finished 1 bite of toast and stepped out of the world. And that cup of coffee, the one she never finished, is the last warm thing she ever left behind.